Alicia. This is Stephen. I just wanted to give you a little tour of the classroom. Sorry, I guess I could turn this around. I want to give you a tour of the classroom just so you could see how my classroom is now, compare with what you remember it was like, and hopefully if this can help in any way, just to let you know how things are going this year. I have some of the plants. I do have a lot of plants in the classroom, but I have some of them taken home. But I'll show you a couple of other things and a couple of other plants and things that I have. So anyway, here's my classroom. As you can see, oh sorry, that's my briefcase and my plant that I'm taking home. But as you can see, I have four tables. There's one table, there's another table right there, there's another table, and another table. And so each of my tables house 6 kids, and they have partners. If you look here, twice a year they decorate their names as well. Here are their partners. They have either a blue partner or a yellow partner, depending on whether I want them to turn to the left or to the right to discuss something, just to help each other learn better. So that's what I have. I have the partners there on the table. Like I mentioned before, I have the low kids on the right. This is a low kid here next to a higher kid here, as well as a higher kid here. And so that helps them to stay focused, and the higher kids can help them, as well as I'm in the front of the classroom so I can see them from where I'm standing about right here. Okay. And each of my tables has that same thing, and I know right away. I don't even have to remember who they are. I know this is the low kid, this is the high kid, and then this also is a high kid here, and so they can sit and help Alejandro. Same thing over here. I have a low kid here and a high over here. Also, in my classroom, we're pretty lucky. We have a smart board, so hopefully if you can get a smart board or something. One thing that I really try hard to do is wherever the front of the room is, I try to have the desks as close to the front of the room as possible. And when you have them in groups, the good thing is you're able to get them closer to the front of the table, and then that leaves extra room in the back. I have the moon table back here. I also have a computer back here, and I also have a rug here, and then the library. Sorry, I'm boxing things up. Here's my library back here. This is where I put all my library stuff. My library books are in boxes. I made some oversized pillows just using some heavy-duty fabric and some comforters, so that's there as well. And then a nice little rug. If you need to get a rug, you can always get those on Craigslist. They have some cheap rugs there for you, or sometimes the school has rugs for you. I also have a lot of plants. I've taken home a lot of my plants, but those are there as well. Also, like I mentioned before, I have one little bin called Homework to be Graded, Work to be Graded bin. That's where the kids put everything, and probably 90 to 95% of the stuff that gets in that bin right there to be graded actually makes it underneath my desk. There's a postal service box, and this here is full of recycled stuff that I just recycle. Mom threw hers away because she didn't want her principal ever finding out she did it. I don't care because I only have to grade 10 things per quarter. So it just goes in there. I don't tell the kids that I recycle it, but you can't grade everything, so that's that. I also have a candy jar for the kids who behave well, and they get Smarties. I only have Smarties. Our school had a rule against candy, so I haven't given out much candy this year, but that's there as well for the kids who are doing well. Then they can get a Smartie. Here's my curly contest. It's kind of getting erased a little bit, but there's my curly contest, and here's the prize box. The prize box can have anything that you can find in there. I found some of these prizes just from the store. If you go to Office Max and Office Depot the first of the year before school starts, you'll get a lot of sale items, and you can get some things there. But if you come across any toys or anything, actually here's a prize that a kid donated to the class. So I tell the kids that if they want to donate something, they can donate something to the prize box if they want to as well. But so those are the prizes for the prize box. Also, let me think here. Oh, right over here is the sink. Up here I have the language arts word wall, as well as the science word wall and the social studies word wall. And I just use little sentence strips with words that I put on there. And then I apologize, I took this down. But that's where I have like the vocabulary words, and I write down the vocabulary word on a little like a 6-inch or 7-inch sentence strip, and then I have the kids decorate the vocabulary word that way, according to what the word means, and then it kind of brings a connection for the kids. Sometimes a lot of teachers like to buy like these word walls and put them up, but the kids can't connect to them because they didn't do anything with them. The teacher just bought it. But if the kids actually make it and create it, then they know what the word means, and it kind of brings more personalized touch to your classroom, and it really connects them with the things you have on your wall. Speaking of things on our wall that we have, I have one poster. I just blew up the letters for learn and the letters for teach, and then the kids decorated those. I'll probably take those down later on in the year so the kids next year can, and then I'll just print them up again in a funny font and then have the kids decorate them so that they know those are the two main jobs for a classroom, is to teach and to learn. Over here I have what they call anchor charts. This is an anchor chart for light, and as you can see, it talks about transparent, translucent, and opaque. And the kids brought in samples for light. Now you can buy one of those posters, but if you make it just with some poster markers, it makes it, I think, just that much more personal, and the kids are able to know what translucent means, what transparent means, and what opaque means, just because they brought in the samples of items to put on there. Same thing with rural community, suburban community, and urban community. You can see that there's the factors on them, and then the kids actually drew the facts on them, and then the kids actually drew pictures of a rural community, a suburban community, and an urban community. Here you have, I think the Sears Tower is there, and over here you have actually Grandpa Bingham yelling at me as I'm driving on the tractor running over a tree, because I ran over a tree and I was telling them about my rural activity there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That really connected them to it. Here's my water thing, and here is where is water found. And on the sentence strips that I also use for the vocabulary board, I have on there, the kids can write down where they find the water at, and then they can draw the pictures. And so that really just connects them with the anchor chart and the learning. So this is my social studies and science anchor charts over here, and there's another one for matter. Okay, and the kids contributed to the definitions there. I also have a birthday chart over there, as well as the months of the year and days of the week, and then also how to spell each of the numbers. This is just my storage along with the coat hooks down here. Over here's the sink and more storage up and down here. Here is more book bag storage and coat storage, as well as some science storage over here. Here I have my, right next to the entrance of the classroom, I have the math word wall, and these anchor charts we actually created together as a class. However, I wrote them down, and they're able to use this information to help them complete some of the lessons and just some of the facts and information that probably you're not going to remember for everyday use, like oblique lines and vertical lines, Celsius, Fahrenheit, that type of thing, square root, stuff that you don't use actually every single day, but is important. So I put that up there. These are our emergency procedures, and those I put on the door going out of the classroom. That way, if I ever wonder, and the school usually gives you a copy of the emergency procedures, so that goes there on that wall. Here are, these are the iPads. We actually have an iPad cart with iPads that the kids can use. Here's where my school does breakfast every morning, and the kids put any extra fruit or any non-perishable in here, and at the end of the day, they take turns getting the fruit that's in here. Here are my jobs. My jobs for the kids. So I have a backup and an iPad couple, and usually I have a boy and a girl So I have a backup, an iPad job. I also have a homework collector and a stamper. They stamp the agendas every day. I also have bathroom monitors, and you can see I just use clothesline clips for that. Here I have pencil checkers, and on that one, this top kid, Alejandro H., I knew he couldn't do it by himself, so I do have another boy there, Charles and Emily, and they do the pencil checking with him. Name takers, that's 2 kids that do that. Also table washers, there's 2 kids that do that. And then caboose and a door holder, and also a line leader. And then up here, just this classroom helpers. Okay, here are my language arts anchor charts that we made for synonyms and antonyms, as well as statements and questions, exclamation commands. And these sentences here, as you can see, yay, Mr. Bingham is singing a Barney song. That would be an exclamation, and you see that the class actually made that sentence, and it included me, but then there's other ones like Roberto, go clean up messy class. That's a kid in our class, and so that really just brings them to the learning and to the anchor chart to remember what an exclamation is, as well as possessive nouns, both singular and plural, character traits, and then over here I have vocabulary words. This is not quite as up to date, and that's not a anchor chart that is created by the students, but rather by me, so it really isn't as personal. There's the number line right there. Oh, another thing that I really, really like, let me just show you over here. The kids did this. This is the why poster here, to have the kids asking questions. Why did you do that? Why did you get the answer you got? And then also the other thing that's very important is how. How did you get that answer? What did you do? How did you find that answer? So those are my why and how posters. At the first of the year, I also have the kids decorate their names. And these turn out okay, not as good as I had hoped, but you can see that the kids write their name and then they draw circles around it. Some of them turn out better than others, like that one right there. Myra's turned out really well, as well as Misael's turned out all right as well. And Stephanie's kind of did too. So you can see those there. One thing that I feel is very, very important is that the best students work slow and careful, and so I actually created a poster for the kids, and I always repeat that because third graders especially try to work fast and not very careful, and so I just remind them that the best students are the ones who work slow and careful. Here I keep all of their writing portfolios as well as their work portfolios. And for their work portfolios, every 2 or 3 weeks, I pass back the graded work, and then I tell them of all the graded work that they have to put 4 or 5 items in their work portfolio. I let them pick the work that goes in there, and then it just goes in according to quarter. And so you can see here that we have quarter 4 portfolio for Argelia, and so that's there. The writing portfolios is any major writing activities that goes in there, and then I'll collect those at the end of the year and pass them out to the rest of the kids. Over here I also have community crayons, glue, and scissors, and each table has 2 containers, and there's table 1, they have the green ones, table 2 have the red ones, table 3 has a blue one and a yellow one, just because the sun got to these containers here because we're facing southward, and it cracked them pretty darn easily, so I'll have to figure out something for next year. And there's table 4. Okay, so those last pretty good. They're not perfect because they're supposed to have 4 glues in all, and they only have 3, but we're toward the end of the year, so I don't really worry about that. This is where my area is, and my things are right here, so I keep like any file things, any papers that I need, spelling papers or line paper, or I also found this like magazine rack here, and I use that for any of my lessons, and it seems to hold things pretty well. So a magazine rack would be something really good that you could see. And when you this thing's kind of cleaned out because of the last year, but you can see here that you could just put stuff in there, and it would be there ready for you to take out, and you can actually see what each thing is. So I know this is the end of the year letter. Here is a school memories memory book that you can get. But so there's that. And then I also keep over here, oh, this is the supply case. It's pretty empty, but I have hand sanitizer as well as Ziplocs and a couple other things in there, some tissue and some cleaner stuff, so that's in there. Then I have a couple of bookcases over here from my library, as well as a couple of wooden bookcases. Here I keep all of my lesson files here. So I file them according to the story. And so the very, very first story, well, the first week, here's my first week's activities. And like I mentioned before, I keep in here, there's the book about the dot that I mentioned. That's a really good story, as well as Ish. Okay, and these are both by Peter Reynolds, and I like them as like just a introductory story, just to tell them, just to try their best and not to be embarrassed with the work that's their best. And then it starts off with the story. Each week I have a story, Officer Buckles, the first week. The next week is Pepita Talks Twice. The next week is Nate the Great. The next week is Allie's Basketball Dream. The next week is Olympics. The next week is Benchmark, and then Turtle Bay, and it goes clear through to the very end of the school year. That's my language arts lessons. My science and social studies lessons are a little more messed up. But you can see here I have the planets in the solar system. Here I have the rural, the urban, and the suburban, as well as cursive work, but we don't do much cursive anymore. Here I have rocks and minerals and the earth. Here I have language arts tour guide, which I don't know what that is. But a couple other, the Chicago travel celebrations, history of the United States. The water cycle is mixed in here, but it's all here. Science and social studies. There's live, work, and play. But anyway, my science and social studies is in there. I do keep things that are related to science and social studies in here. Someone gave me a rock collection or a mineral collection, so I keep that in here so that I can share that when I'm ready to use that as well. So I keep those files there. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, another thing that I really, really like. A lot of teachers don't do this, but they change their bulletin boards out with paper. I actually went to IKEA or even used outside. I have, I think it's outside. Yeah, outside I have a another bulletin board that just actually is made from a shower curtain. But any fabric, I just put the fabric up, and I think it really makes the room just look that much more colorful and nice. Some of the fabric is pretty just kind of fun and decorative. There's a couple that I really like, and I got this from Joann's. This is my social studies bulletin board, and it comes with a map, and I got that map, a fabric map, from Joann's Fabrics. Also over here, I thought this one was kind of cute. It's a little old-fashioned, but I like it. It's just a fabric of kids going to school, and then I just put a border around it. It's kind of busy, but I like it. And when the kids' work is up, then it works out pretty good. So anyway, that's my classroom. I also have a lot of bins, and these bins, whenever you have a bin, one thing that I would recommend, if you do have a bin, I would label it. That way you know what's in there, and you can always just get to it. Like that's clocks and multiplication wraps. Those are color tiles and base 10 things. Some bingo games and some manipulatives over here. Some dry erase. Let me show you this. This is kind of cool here. You can go to the Home Depot or the Lowe's. These here are 1 foot by 1 foot. They're actually dry erase boards, and I'm sure David has a saw. All you need to do is you can get, this here is shower board. So the board comes 8 feet by like 6 feet. And it's just shower. It's like the inside of a cheap shower. It's just the wall of the shower, but that's a dry erase board. So the kids can actually write on it. Here, let me grab a dry erase marker. So the kids can write on it all they want, and I have the kids. Each one of the kids has their own dry erase marker, and I put their name on it. That way, they treat the dry erase marker a little bit better than if it's just a community dry erase marker. Because when it's community, they tend to stick the or write too hard, and it makes the felt tip go inside the marker. But anyway, this is just the wall of a shower from Home Depot for like $5 for an 8x6, and you can just erase it. It's a dry erase board. It's really easy to gather up and just put back in. I just store these right under here. Okay, and then over here I have my dry erase markers. And these dry erase markers, I divide them up according to table. So this is table 4, so that's their dry erase markers. And you can see here that I put their names on the dry erase markers. I got these erasers from, I believe, like Teacher Creative Materials, but you could also just use just a piece of just fabric or a piece of towel, whatever you wanted to buy. But anyway, so those are there. And they really don't have to zip them up or anything. They just put them in the bag, and then I put them in here, make sure they're in here. And then they're there for the next time we need them. So anyway, I hope you liked the classroom and tour of our classroom. Oh, there's my desk back there. I usually don't use it a whole lot except for just to store paper and junk and a mess, whatever I have. But anyway, that's there. And hope you liked the tour. Hope I didn't talk too much, but I just wanted to share with you my classroom. I have a garbage can here, and I have a basket right there. That basket right there is for recycling paper. I did my own name tag